The Elgin Police Department is dedicated to working in partnership with the community to promote safety and enhance the quality of life by serving with professionalism, encouraging open communication, and embracing diversity.
Engaged.
Partnering with our citizens and involved in our community.
Progressive.
Embracing innovative strategies while maintaining proven practices.
Dedicated.
Serving with integrity and professionalism. Elgin became an incorporated city in 1854 and installed its first police marshal, George W. Renwick. Over the years, the title of the head law enforcement officer changed from marshal to chief. And although the role has expanded, one duty has remained consistent: to ensure law and order for the citizens of Elgin.
It's time now for Fridays with the Finest, featuring Elgin's current police chief, Anna Lally, on Elgin's hometown radio station since 1949, WRMN AM 1410 and 96.7 FM.
Hey, and good morning, everybody. We are here on this wonderful Friday. I was just say Monday. What the heck's wrong with me? This wonderful Friday morning with Fridays with the Finest. And that would certainly be only one person, Chief Anna Lally. How you doing today, Chief?
Good. How are you?
I couldn't be better. It's going to be a
Good.
great weekend.
Yeah.
A little brisk out there today,
But you know what? It feels good.
doesn't it?
Yeah.
Nice little change.
Oh, I don't really like humid, hot summer weather. So this is my favorite time. So
Yeah, you can keep the humidity. Big guy
Yes.
like me,
Oh.
I never was one for that either. But yeah. So what's happening in the city?
yeah.
How's
So I
everything
want
going?
to. We got a couple things to talk about, and then obviously tomorrow is Nightmare on Chicago Street. So I want to go over some safety guidelines, some things just to be aware of. And also I will also tell you that streets in downtown are there's a lot of work going on for the event, and so you're going to see a lot of street blockages. You're not going to be able to kind of move really freely through downtown because they are preparing for the event. So if you can, avoid downtown. Don't frustrate yourself. Yesterday I left my house. I live on the west side of Elgin, all the way by Randall. And by the time, I don't know what, we had an incident yesterday with a vehicle versus a train. So I was trying to avoid, obviously going down certain areas. And then I ended up doing some like weird loop through like the west side. And then it took me a while to get to work. So, the frustrations that people, and I'm not
There's
frustrated.
no shortcuts right now.
No, I mean, there's
Be patient and take it in.
just be patient. But I will tell you also, if you can avoid certain areas, avoid them, right? And so that's what the purpose of the city puts out a lot of information. Information on road closures are also on our Facebook page. So if you can avoid downtown starting today and all through tomorrow and even Sunday morning too, because they do a lot of the cleanup on Sunday. Maybe, try to avoid it if you can. So, but I want to talk a little bit about things going on this week at the department. Then we'll get into Nightmare and then obviously some events coming up, which next week, our main event is on Tuesday from 5 to 7 at the Elgin Police Department. It is our Halloween extravaganza event. I think this is our 4th or 5th year doing it. I want people to, obviously with everything that's been going on in our community, people should know that our event, we are hosting an event for the entire community. Please come out, especially for kids. It's an enjoyable event. We get a lot of people every year, and the purpose of it. Yes, it's a Halloween event. Yes, we're the kids are trick or treating, and there's costumes, and we're gonna have I think over 40 vendors, community vendors there.
Nice.
But it's also to build that relationship with us. So please, come in and meet us, and get to know us. Because we really truly appreciate our community and understand a lot of things that are going on and how it's impacting our community. So. I said last week, right? We're continuing business as usual to have our events and to ensure, that we're encouraging people to come to our events. And I think that does send a message to the community that, we are here and whatever's happening, no matter what is happening, that we will get through it together as a community.
It's all business as usual in Elgin. You're still on track. You're still keeping your programs. They still have the safety and the knowledge that they're protected.
Yes. Yep. So I want to talk. Yesterday we had a crash involving a Union Pacific train and a vehicle at the railroad crossing at State Street, north of Locust. So the Elgin Police Department is investigating that matter. We are. There's nothing further to release except what we released yesterday. Very tragic event. A person is deceased from the event, along with there were two other adults that had some injuries that were transported to a hospital. So our traffic unit is continuing to investigate that incident. If you have any information, please call our traffic unit at 847-289-2660. Again, 847-289-2660. I will also say we pushed this out on our social media yesterday. There are temporary stop signs at the railroad crossing until the conclusion of the investigation. That includes Union Pacific having to do some appropriate inspections on their end. Union Pacific is also implementing precautionary safety measures that include what's called a stop and protect protocol, which is basically the train conductor will visibly verify that the traffic is protected before the train proceeds. So that protocol is in effect 7 days a week. The traffic is the train traffic is scheduled for 7 days a week, from 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. and then from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. So please be cautious. You'll see those stop signs, stop, look both ways, and proceed cautiously. So, that was something when those incidents happen again, getting that information out, about traffic closures and safety stuff. So I just want to remind everyone that, please be safe. And, and a lot of times too, traffic in the morning, depending what time you leave, right? Just on a separate topic. If you leave at if I leave my house at 6 o'clock in the morning, I literally can make it here in 10 minutes. Yeah. There's no one on the road, right? If I leave my house at 7:30, it's like 25 minutes, right? So, give yourself a little bit extra buffer time. And especially this weekend downtown, it's going to be a lot of people, a lot of traffic. Please do not
people that don't know the area. You get a lot of people coming from a lot of different areas, and they don't know. They just don't know the area.
And just, with the event tomorrow too, which let me talk a little bit about some of that stuff and safety stuff. So attendees of the event. So the event is tomorrow, Saturday, October 25th from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. And that is a hard 11 p.m. So at 11 p.m., it's like it being in a bar. The lights go on.
Don't got to go home, but you can't stay here.
That's it. The lights go on, and the Elgin police officers will, graciously say goodnight to you and make sure that people are also being safe when they leave. So at 11 o'clock, we do start, and people leave at different times, but at the end of the event, again, I've been there every year at the event. And people are usually very good about it. So just, when it's 11 o'clock, it's a non-negotiable. That means 11 o'clock, the event ends. And so I say that kindly, professionally, but, please, the officers have been working a very long day. We want to make sure that it's a safe event for our entire community. It's a long day. Some of the officers are there at 7 in the morning.
Yeah.
And so we ask that you respect the time frame.
Plus the city crew taking things down. I want to make sure nothing's going to blow over.
They're working right now. They're across the street. There's people, from the city, and they're working to make sure that this is an enjoyable event. But that's why at 11 o'clock the event ends. It's not this goes on till midnight.
Right.
No. So people under 17 can be at the event, but must be accompanied by a paid adult for the full duration of the event. And just, there are certain aspects of the event, including some performances that are not suitable for younger audiences. Again, it's a dimly lit area. Alcohol is allowed in the area. So just for people to be aware of. Earlier, a lot of times I see a lot of, you'll see younger kids with their parents at the very beginning of the event. And they come in, the kids want to see it, and they take pictures and they enjoy it for a couple hours. And then usually people say, okay, now.
If you're a true adult, when it's time to bring the kids home.
when it's time. Yeah, I can't, me and my husband were I can't remember where we were at, but it was recently. And we went in somewhere, and by the time we walked out, I was like, oh, this is a whole nother vibe going on here,
Yeah.
right? So, and I'm not 20 years old, neither is he. So we're like, yeah, you know what? It's time to go to bed, man.
Yeah. We had a good time.
We had a
Time to
great
go.
time. Now it's time to go to bed. So, but just be a little bit aware of that in terms of just, being, if you want to bring young kids and they have a great time, right? And
Sure they
some of
do.
the kids, surprisingly, like you think, okay, some kids, they are like frightened by, some of the costumes and some of the things, but some of these, they love it. Like,
Yeah, yeah. They're dressed up as the same vibe.
yeah,
Yeah.
same thing. So Halloween is one of my favorite. It is my favorite holiday. So I enjoy it, but also just make sure that you do know that there is alcohol at the event. It's a very packed, dimly lit area. Parking is available in designated areas on public streets. And then on Saturday between 4:30 and 12:30 a.m., there are shuttle services, and I would encourage people to do this. Shuttle services will be provided from and to Elgin High School and Larkin High School. And if you're ride sharing, you're taking an Uber or Lyft, whatever it is, you can use the post office roundabout during that time for pickups and drop offs. So the roads will be open on Sunday evening. So again, going back to what I earlier said, it's a 3-day kind of traffic jam, streets blocked. So just, if you're not coming to Nightmare, have no reason to come downtown Elgin, then I would just encourage you not to come down here because you might be a little frustrated. But I will also encourage people thank you for that if you're watching on YouTube. So Larkin High School and Elgin High School between 4:30 and 12:30 will have shuttle pickup, which is great, right? Because then you can just, drop your car, not have to worry about parking, the parking decks, all that stuff, and just hop on a shuttle, come down here, have a great time, hop back on the shuttle and call it a day. So again, something to be aware of. There is free public parking available in downtown, but I would encourage you to go on the city's Facebook site or the city has a Nightmare on Chicago Street website. Look at where you can park. So Spring Street parking deck, which is in the heart of the event, that's usually reserved for VIP parking, and you have to have parking passes. And that area down there gets very congested. So
Very fast, too.
very fast, very congested. And so, I will say this. You can't just come down to Nightmare on Chicago Street and think that you're just going to park in the Chicago Street or Spring Street deck. It's not going to work. So on any other given day, yes, right? But there's other parking. There's city parking right across from the police department. There's other city parking lots, the Fulton Street parking lot. But I would really encourage people to make those precautions, those precautionary routes beforehand so that you're not stuck and you're not frustrated. Remember, everybody usually leaves at the same time for the most part, but people float in and out. So use the free shuttle that the city offers. Use ride lifts, and then make sure you're ride sharing. If you're coming with a group of people, just take one car, right? And designated driver, please. We want people to have an enjoyable time. We want people to have there's city workers right now from Parks and Recs. They're coming out and the men and women of Parks and Recs, they're doing an awesome job. So
Yeah, they've been working.
yeah, and I also want to give
tirelessly.
a huge shout out to Amanda Harris from Special Events and her team. But Amanda, just does a really awesome job, and she's very creative. And it's her job is not like my job, but it's very similar in terms of some things. We just do different things. But I really want to give her credit because it's a lot for what she's doing, and and she wants the event to be a great event too. The other thing too, so the following items are not, I repeat, not allowed at the event. And I stress this to you because when you show up to the gate and you have one of these items, the answer is no. So there is no negotiation. There is no, so, the officers are not going to sit there and this is, there's times when we can and we do, we negotiate, we find other things. This is a hard no. And I say that again, respectfully, professionally, but please, we do this for the safety of everyone. We're not doing it to be mean or just because we want to be defiant. We're doing it for everyone's safety. So the following items, weapons or any type of weapon prop and under any circumstances. So I remember one year I was there and I was, I pop in at all the gates, I walk around and someone was trying to debate with the officer about, this item that they needed for their costume and how it basically made the costume. Now, I agree, it made the costume, no doubt, right? just not at Nightmare on Chicago Street,
Yeah.
right? So the officer
Even
handled it.
plastic hatchets, people got to
No,
realize it
nothing.
could be viewed as a real
Nothing.
one. You don't need the headaches or
Nothing,
aggravation.
none of that whatsoever. Because I will tell you, that's the problem. Where if you are sitting there and debating, and the officer's going to be professional, they're going to be polite, but it's a firm and hard no. There are no exceptions. So please, and we will tell you, you can either go back to your vehicle and put your item back in your vehicle, or there's a garbage can there if you want to do that. If you've ever been to a sporting event, this happened to me one time. So we were at a Bears game, and so I brought like a smaller bag, and I thought that it fit the size. It was small, and I got up there, and they're like, "This is too big," and I was like, "Oh God!" Right? So I'm not gonna sit there and first of all, I'm a police officer. Second of all, these people have hard enough jobs to begin with. Like, okay, yeah, fine. Just I'll take whatever I need to. I'm not. I just threw the bag in the garbage. Whatever, right? Like, it's not where you hold up the line and you're arguing, and this is.
Where you going with that? They're going to win.
That's my point, right?
the
So
rules.
just it is what it is. I get it. So if this is your favorite bag that you bring, and that you don't want to lose, then you need to walk back to your car. If this is your favorite prop for your costume, then you need to walk back to your vehicle. Otherwise, you could throw it in the garbage, and we're going to carry on because the lines do get long. Please, please, please. We respect all our community, everyone that comes from outside of our community. We just have to be very firm on things for the purpose of public safety. And so if the officer is telling you no, they're not trying to be difficult, they're not trying to be defiant, they're not trying to be rude, they're not disrespectful, they're just doing their job.
There's a lot going on, which I have now on the YouTube video
Mm-hmm.
showing just the promo that they have. You've got how many different stages going on? People spinning around fire on stage and what have you. You don't need any added aggravation or
No.
headaches. Just go enjoy. Be
Yeah.
entertained. This
Be
is what this
entertained.
is for. This is for your entertainment. Be entertained.
Yes, I think that's a great way to say it, right? You're down there to be entertained. And again, if this is not the thing for you, then don't go,
Yeah,
right?
stay
If
home.
this is your thing, then come. And if you do, again, it's the safety of everybody. We want everyone there to have a safe and secure event. We want them to be able to enjoy themselves. We want people to be able to relax and have a great time. And part of that is, we have a job to do, and there is no, we will not, again, I stress this and stress it and stress it. We will not be negotiating with anything in terms of safety, period. There is no negotiations. We are not going to be debating it. And I say that now because I know every year people might be a little upset because they can't let something in. The officers, too, who have worked this event, we have a lot of officers that have worked this event for many, many years. And, they take pictures with people. They will be, the Elgin police officers are absolutely some of the finest men and women that you will ever meet. Our professionalism, and again, we are human. We do make mistakes. But overall, right, when you see officers and the way they engage with the community, so don't be afraid to talk to the officers. If you want to grab a picture with them, assuming they're not doing anything right then and there, they're more than happy and gracious to do that.
And even if someone had too much to drink, you'll get them a ride. You'll get them to a transportation. You're not going to pinch them. You're
No.
not going to arrest them.
No.
You just want them to get home safely.
Yes.
WRMN is here. We're at one of the entrance gates, and we've offered as well. We
Yes.
have a limousine. We'll get people home.
Yes.
If you need a ride home, stop at our station. Better to get home safely. We don't want
Yes.
nobody have any issues.
No, and that's a great point too. Is that if you celebrate a little too much,
And
let's
it
just
happens.
say, and it happens, right? Don't get into a vehicle, right? Don't just there's so many opportunities. We will get you a ride. We will make sure that you get home safe. Again, I stress that so no weapons or any type of weapon props. The other thing is strollers are not allowed in the event. Animals, except for guide animals, are not allowed in the event. Bags, and here's bags or purses. I should have probably read this before I went to the
The
stadium.
Bears game.
Yeah, bags or purses larger than 10 by 6 by 2. So that's a very small bag. So, you can't come in there with your, shopping bag and your backpack and all that stuff. That will not be allowed. So, again, tomorrow, October 25th from 6 to 11, entrance gates, there's all different, I think there's 5 or 6 entrance points to the event. So, the gate down by Spring Street, that one gets backed up And so a lot of times if you know that that's backed up, I think there's an entrance down here on Douglas. There's an
That's right in
entrance.
the front.
There's an entrance over on Grove. There's an entrance. There's various entrances, which again, we try to just, spread it out, but please be patient with the lines. If you want to not get in, if you don't want to wait in line too long, I will tell you, usually by 8:30, it's starting to get really packed. The first couple hours, you'll see some people in and out. It's usually the younger kids too. About 8:30, people start coming out, and it's a very loud event too. So it's not easy to hear. If you are in distress during the event, if something happens, call 911, or if there's an officer, you will see us everywhere around. But it's very loud. I want to just remind people it's very loud. It can be there's a lot of stuff going on. So just, if you do come.
And to reiterate, it's pretty dark. A lot of
very
areas are very dark. It's supposed to be. But, sometimes you can get disorientated
Yes.
in a large crowd.
Yes.
So,
You have to make sure too, like, especially with, there's all these different, I see the schedule of event here too. Restaurants are open. So if you want to go in and eat, that's a good thing. But then there's also, these different stages with different bands. So if you're in that area, sometimes, especially, the Spenguli, when he comes
Yeah.
out, that's a whole nother thing, right? So that stage gets really, really packed. He's going to be there again.
We got Wizzo going to be here?
I don't know. I know
Bozo, he will be
Spenguli.
here?
I've met him, obviously because we're at the event and doing security and stuff, and very nice gentleman, right? And
Yeah.
just when he's in character, he's in character. But
He
people
sure is.
love him. He's like a just a cult like favorite. So people come down to see him, get his signature, take pictures. He does his thing with the costume contest, and then he's on his way. So, but that stage gets very, very packed at that time. So. But other than that, I think the main thing just that I wanted, to really just stress is safety, making sure that, if there is something that you are not comfortable with, make sure you remove yourself from the situation. Police officers will be everywhere. I also want to thank in advance the Aurora Police Department, who are coming to assist us as well.
Oh, that's great.
So their SWAT team comes and assists our SWAT team just for personnel. So the Aurora Police Department, I have tons of respect for that department, for their chief, for their administration, for their officers. So we always help each other out. I want to say thank you to Lieutenant Scott Holmes and Sergeant Randy Fries, who work very, very closely with Special Events and Amanda Harris to ensure that safety, and all the officers. We have over, I think, 70 officers working this event. Thank them for working a long day. It's a hard day. It's a long day.
Public safety officers
Public
are all
safety,
over the
everyone.
place.
We have community service officers, parking control officers, art
That's a community
explorers,
service.
Hanover Township. All these people that come together to make this event a successful event. I thank you in advance. The Elgin Fire Department, Chief Sagan and his team. I have nothing but respect for Chief Sagan and what he does too. So. We all come together to make a safe event. I will be there. I don't miss this event. It is one of my favorites, so it's not even like I'm working. I enjoy it. I go out in the community, talk to people. I will stop by WRMN. I'll grab Chief Sagan
Yeah, bring
too.
Chief Sagan. That's great.
I will grab him
enjoy when you guys
and
come
just to kind of give a status of things that are going on. But myself, my command staff will be there as well. So it's all hands on deck. And so I would just ask that everybody be respectful to each other. Let everyone be able to enjoy a good event, and make sure that you are, just, doing the things that don't bring props in, don't push it. If you're over intoxicated, ask for a ride. Like all of these things that,
Sidestep an incident. If someone's
yes.
taking up more space than maybe they should be, maybe they've had a little bit too much to drink, you know what you do? Take 2 steps back, step around them, and go on. You can find other places to stand.
Yeah, I mean, it just depends too. Hopefully, people coming with friends that are, somebody has to be the reasonable friend in the group,
Yeah.
right? And maybe that's you.
There's gotta be
right?
the adult in the
Somebody
crowd.
has to be the adult in
Yeah.
the group, and hopefully, you have an adult in the group. And maybe before people come down here, say, "All right, who's the designated adult in the group tonight?" And the rest of us, let's just go, right? Let's just go have some fun. So. But other than that, that's what I wanted to mention. I know we have a few minutes here, so I just want to mention quickly On Wednesday, we had a city council meeting, a really long evening, and one of the things that was discussed was the city creating an ordinance that would basically ban ICE agents from utilizing parking decks or public parking lots to stage, to conduct their operations or their pre-operations. So the way it was left Wednesday night is that the council directed the corporation council to look at an ordinance or what that would look
The
like,
legalities.
the
Sure.
legalities and stuff. And so, I did give some of my thoughts on it, in terms of, overall, some of the practical applications and some of the concerns that I do have, and some of the issues that would come up. Again, I think it's a responsibility of me to make sure that when decisions are made by the council, that they see the full perspective, and then they're the council, and
They
they
don't,
do
but they
what
don't see
do.
it from the law enforcement
But
base.
yeah, it's very different, and it's also, I will tell you, and a great example of this is, the body worn camera law. So when that law came out, the law was written very, it's very academic. It's very, it's not put in a practical sense, because as we worked through some of the body worn camera issues, there were eventually some things that were changed because of what the practical application of the body worn camera and how an officer uses it. So I think it's, sometimes, it's important that when people make decisions, that the council members, that the mayor, that they have all the information. Here's the perspective. They ultimately are going to decide what they want to do, but
Yeah.
I think it's important. So if anyone's interested in that conversation, I know that the Courier did a news article that was out there this morning.
And you could always play back the
Yeah,
council
watch
meeting.
it. So and it's the very last item of the council meeting. So it was like 10:30 at night, but it's the very last like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then you can hear the entire conversation and some of the council members' comments and the discussion. Which again, I think the thing to remember, and I've always say it, just because people think differently does not mean that they cannot get along.
Right.
Just because people have different perspectives does not mean that we can't be respectful to each other, right? And I think the best relationships, and I say it all the time, the best relationships, in my opinion, at least in my own life, have never been the ones where you're the best, you're the best, you're the best, the department's the best, the department's the best. I mean, that's the easy relationship. Thank you, I appreciate it, right? And the worst relationships are, when I say worse, it's really not, but it's more, you guys suck, you suck, you suck. Nothing is right, nothing is good. This is right, and not even wanting to have a discussion, right?
And you're in the middle of something serious with this ICE. And,
Yes.
and frankly, you still need to work with those
Yes.
agents and their uppers if they're going to
Everything.
communicate with you.
Everything.
So that, if you resist them, they're going to come twice as hard at
I
you.
think the message, and I've said it many times, many years, every single, like, whatever the conversation is, the middle, meeting each other in the middle, right? You can be critical, but you can be supportive. You can be of a different thought, opinion, whatever, and still keep your mind open to a difference of perspective. And I think those relationships, in my opinion, and I will tell you, just, in terms of the department, those are the relationships that have absolutely propelled this department to a different level. And I think, that's something that I hope to, I hope young officers, when they start their career, I tell them that, and I hope that they learn how to embrace it if they don't already, or learn how to open their mind to a different perspective, just as I've had to open my mind to different perspectives, right? And take the criticism that sometimes is unwarranted, but it's what you do with that criticism, that eventually, I think, brings people together. So
Yeah.
I will be here tomorrow. Thank you again, Elgin. Have a safe weekend. We appreciate every single one of you. We thank you for all your support for the department. Tomorrow's going to be a great night, and I hope that everyone enjoys themselves if they are attending. And if you're not, stay away from the downtown.
That's all. It's going to be congested. Chief, thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you.
Your insight, your honesty, your openness, transparency, I guess they call it, is always refreshing. You can go on all the websites. Elgin Police has Facebook pages. They have websites. If you don't know what's going on, it's because you don't want to know what's going on. So once again, Chief, we thank you very much for being here, and we'll be here next week with Fridays with the Finest, Chief Anna Lally. Thank you.